pushing on, but then you went too far. When your ship has sailed and all your dreams are lost, everything is wrong, you feel like it's your fault. Just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call on me. Just call on me. Just call on me. Just call on me. You're stronger now than you ever been. You gotta leave now, it's time to catch the wind. You will climb up high and look through the clouds, and when you're feeling low, I know you'll bounce back. Oh, and just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call on me. Just call on me. Just call on me. Just call on me.
Welcome in, everybody, to the Racers Elite Next Gen Series. I am Mike Timoni, up in the booth for Sim Racing Media. Tonight we are in Iowa Speedway as these drivers look to shore up their hopes of winning the championship here. This is race number 5 in the chase for the Cup. There's 2 races left after this at Auto Club and Texas. Last week's winner, Ira Kohos, led 46 laps of the 134 to bring home the win. Went caution-free last week. Andrew Teft in second. Corey Crowell up for third. Point standings are Andrew Teft leading the points by 14 over Austin John Smith and Ira Kohos back in third. With that being said, it looks like they're jumping into qualifying. We'll see if we can catch a few laps here as they work their way through. Ira Kohos up at the top of the board right now with the 24.85. Sam Kohos a 25.39. You guys go any faster second time around, and Ira did a 24.39. Dennis Kane jumped up there on his second lap with a 24.76. Jarrett Larder going to finish his second lap. Let's see where that's going to put him. 24.67 up to P2. Joshua Neal, first lap was a 24:69. We'll see if he can go faster this second time through. A lot of these drivers were here last night. Last night they were in the Xfinity cars, and we saw quite a bit of action here. They're going to count that lap. It looks like they didn't, as he was up on the wall doing a little Hail Melon there, maybe a little bit. Got a few drivers left that have not made their way to pit road to start their qualifying runs here. I think we got 12 drivers sitting here in the qualifying session. Like Kinsley Smith's getting ready to roll. Joshua Neal checking in the chat saying let's not die. Had a little rough time last night. Did Josh there. See what these guys can do tonight. First lap for Kinsley Smith up here. 24:51, good enough for P2. Austin John Smith, though, busts out the heater with a 24:20 pole position right now. Hello to you, Mr. Smith there. Checking in on the YouTube chat. (24:16) for Austin John Smith there for his second lap. We got Andrew Teff, Diego Rodriguez, Todd Todiff, and Corey Crowell, Alex Teft. Yeah, these next gen cars are definitely a little different to handle than the Xfinity. Also, at least you guys went to the night race, as these guys are, working their way through this qualifying session. The other thing with these next gen cars, if you start to get loose, it's going to take a while for you to get the car back under you, and sometimes with the new steering, if you do catch it, you wind up overcorrecting and you can find yourself in the wall pretty quick there as well. If anybody else doesn't look like right now, anybody else is going to try and make their run. And just as I say that, the Teff brothers both elect to jump in their car at about the same time, but looks like Corey Crowell going to be first one out. See what he can do with that 21 Ford. First lap for Crowell, 24:66. Andrew Teff did his first lap, 25:08. think Andrew's trying to make everybody hungry with his paint scheme this week. Crowell battled back, and his lap time was a little bit slower, but Andrew Teft went quicker, a 24:55. Good enough for P4 right now. Alex Teft out on track. Coming through 3 and 4. See if Alex can get some speed up. He ran pretty well last night on his qualifying laps. 24:63 first time by. And he will spin around and call that his qualifying run. We've got 2 drivers left. Like 2 new guys, if I'm not mistaken. Just 54 seconds left in qualifying. Championship standings are going to get pretty tight here. Andrew Teft and Austin John Smith, like I said, were separated by 14 points. Ira Kohaas is only 27 back. Dennis Kane, 33 back. Alex Teft, 36 back. That's the top 5. And even go back a little ways, you're still got at 36 for Alex Teft. Kinsley Smith was 41. Those guys basically still have a chance for the moment. But we got Auto Club and Texas Motor Speedway as these guys are getting ready to get in their cars. Shut down that. Cool. Get a look here at the drivers. Austin John Smith lead them down after running a heater of a lap. Ira Kohaas just to his outside, last week's winner. Kinsley Smith and Andrew Teft make up row 2. Row 3 goes to Alex Teft and Corey Crowell. Then you go on back to Jarrett Larder and Joshua Neal. Dennis Kane and Sam Kohaas make up row 5. Row 6 is going to be Todd Tardif and Diego Rodriguez, if they're going to be running. We'll have 10 running, it looks like, for the moment. .200 laps, 5 sets of tires laying in the pits, 50% fuel. One thing we learned last night is just how quick that restart zone comes upon you. Pace car will make his left-hand turn and you will basically be right into the restart zone. These guys make their way down the backstretch. Pace car is going to make that left-hand turn right now, and there's the restart zone. Austin John Smith gets about halfway through and is down and away out to a couple tenths. Ira Kohlhaas, though, is going to kind of stay with him there in the high lane. Kinsley Smith and Kohlhaas side by side. Kinsley gets P2. Alex Teft to the inside of Andrew Teft, and Alex is going to get a little run there, coming through 1 and 2. Austin Smith's going to lead lap 1. Kinsley Smith, Ira Kohlhaas, Alex Teft, Andrew Teft, Jarrett Larder, you have Joshua Neal going to the inside of Crowell, and he'll take P7. Now he's going to the inside of Jarrett Larder. Lost a little bit of speed there, did that 82 Chevy. Jarrett Larder into the outside wall, bounces around. Joshua Neal spins around down the backstretch, and he will keep it up against the wall and keep it going in the right direction, so we will not have a caution. Austin John Smith makes his way around the front stretch, heads through 1 and 2. Joshua Neal brings it on down pit lane. Alex Teft to the inside, or Andrew Teft to the inside of Alex Teft. All this Teft on Teft crime here. As you see the neutral slide there of Sam Kohlhaas as he was trying to enter the corner and just got a little bit loose, slid sideways. Kept it off the wall and off of other cars. And we stay green. Joshua Neal on his way out of pit lane. Corey Crowell to the inside of Alex Teft. Alex Teft had a pretty good run at the beginning of the race, but now he is falling back a few positions here. See if these guys can manage their tires and get a few laps under them. It is one of those things that that you kind of notice at the beginning of the run, the tires get cold, you know. So once they start to warm up, you start to feel good. Then the handling starts to go away a little bit, and then towards the end of the run, you get used to the way the car's handling. So you're able to drive it a little bit better. So you'll see these guys kind of move up the standings early in the run, kind of fade back a little ways, and then come right back up towards the end, especially if they have that good long run car. Last night we really didn't get to see it. We got about 50 laps, 55 laps or so of a green flag run in their 134 lap race. And then other than that, they were relatively short runs. So we'll see if these guys can have one of those good long green flag runs, as Kohlhaas is back in third, about a second and a half. Kinsley Smith about a half second back of Austin John Smith. See what happened to Andrew Teft. Like Andrew Teft went off track here. Take a look, see what happened real quick. Gasses it up going down the backstretch here. Like you can see him start to get a little bit loose entering the corner. Slides around. Stays out of the way from everybody. Keeps it going in the right direction, so we'll stay green. Lost about 5 positions from where he was running on track. I think that's kind of going to be a theme for tonight as Jarrett Larder goes to the inside of Dennis Kane. Takes that spot. Kane up a couple positions right now. Corey Crowell's up a couple as well up here. Running inside the top 5 P4. Like Joshua Neal had another rough time. I mean, take a look and see what happened with Josh. Goes corner exit. I think he gets a little loose on corner entry. And it just fighting that car. It says Joshua Neal crashed. Let's see. I think that was right after that last little bit we were watching there. Lost it going down. Oh. Let's we got to see this. Hang on. Was Sam that saw it? Yeah, here you go. Point of view from Sam Kohlhaas here, coming down the front stretch just past the start-finish line. Harley Davidson Motorsports machine just barely gets by. But up front now, we're starting to get a battle as they're starting to get a little hot and heavy here. Kinsley Smith down to the inside of Austin. John Smith. Smith on Smith as Austin goes clear up to the wall. As he was trying to get by. Kinsley's going to take that inside lane and he's going to take the lead here. Austin John Smith was looking to the inside. Thought better of it. Didn't want to go down to the yellow line too fast. Evening, Sarah. Thanks for joining us as usual. Like Joshua Neal's going to be spending some extended time in the pit. We'll see if he's going to try and get that 82 Chevy fixed up here, if he's going to call it a night. Kinsley Smith starting to drive away here. Out to over a half second as we're 20 laps into a run. Ira Kohlhaas hanging on here as well. Corey Crowell running in P4. Alex Teft P5. Jarrett Larder getting loose there, sliding through the corner in P6. Dennis Kane towards the bottom, coming out of 2 in P7. Andrew Teft P8. Sam Kohlhaas P9. Then Joshua Neal, like I said, on pit lane in P10. Well, no matter what, Josh, you'll still get your you'll get a top 10 finish tonight. Like he's got about 4 more minutes to sit in the pits to get that required damage repaired. Sam Kohaus going to stay down to the inside, going to let these leaders battle it up on the high side. Kinsley Smith, Austin John Smith. Like Andrew Teft was able to get by Dennis Kane. Now he has Jarrett Larder in. If anybody's battling on track, looks like Kinsley Smith's starting to slow down just a little bit here as Austin John Smith is closing that gap. I think it's going to be interesting to see what these cars can do in real life when they head there in the middle of June. Probably the closest NASCAR race in my hometown. As Kinsley Smith goes around, saves it, but is going to lose almost probably 2.5 seconds to Austin John Smith. As Sam Kohaus looks like he's sliding around the corner, had to slow her down to make it around. Ira Kohaus coming to the inside, I believe, of his brother Sam there. Jarrett Larder getting passed by Andrew Teft. Teft is now inside the top 5, almost back to where he started the race. Everybody seems to be having just a little bit of difficulties making their way around the track. We've seen several guys get a little loose, slide around, but with the talent of the drivers we have in the field, we have not had a caution as they've been able to keep the race car going in the right direction. They'll lose a few spots, but they're still battling back here. Like I was saying, this is probably going to be the closest NASCAR track to me with the Cup cars running now. But I don't think my wife would like our anniversary to go there. Probably die, but... Austin John Smith out to over a 2-second lead now. These drivers are definitely getting put to work here at the fastest short track on the planet. Well, it looks like I missed Alex Teft. Looks like he had an issue. Go back and see what happened to Alex here. Coming through the front stretch. Just gets loose and starts going sideways. Seen it a few times there. Actually, almost the identical replay of his second lap of qualifying. I would have thought we would have seen more drivers getting loose coming off of 2 because the transition from turn 2 to that backstretch, you go from, between 12 and 14 degree banking down to 4. The front stretch not so bad because you only go down to 10 degrees, but that 12 degree, if you're on the bottom, to 4 or even 14 up top, you can almost see that you're kind of running uphill as we're under caution. Looks like Jarrett Larder brought out the flag that time. See what happened here with Larder. Coming through turn 3. Gets loose, gets sideways, and then gets hit by Dennis Kane. I mean, nothing really Dennis could do there either. And Jarrett was just trying to stay out of the way. Let's see what happened here to Alex. Alex had another incident here. Trying to avoid Jarrett and just goes into that inside wall. Everybody's coming down pit lane, lap 36. Going to take their set of tires and fuel up. Them cycle through here and we'll see where it stands right now. Looks like Austin John Smith was able to get in and out of pit lane and keep his P1 here. Corey Crawwell up 4 spots after that quick pit stop. Kinsley Smith comes out in 3rd, Ira Kohaas 4th, Andrew Teft 5th. And it looks like Sam Kohaas is on pit lane. Dennis Kane just making his way back towards the tail end of the field. Jarrett Larder exiting pit lane there. We'll get these guys all stacked back up and ready to roll. Like the lights are going to be out on the pace car this time by as I head down that backstretch. We'll jump on the board of the nose here. Of the 23 Chevy of Austin John Smith. Light should go out this time and we'll get stacked back up. Joshua Neal still hanging out on pit lane. Gonna take as much time as he needs to get that car right. Lights are out, stacked back up. Pace car makes that left-hand turn. Austin John Smith with the button gets about halfway through that Geico restart zone. He is down and away. Has about 3/10 of a lead. Slides up in front of Corey Crowell, and he is going to make that 23 work here. Crowell trying to get back into his racing groove. this early in the run after everybody made their pit stop for tires. They're definitely going to want to take their time and not race too fast pretty early here. Kinsley Smith had a pretty good, we'll call it medium run there, as he kind of followed Austin around for 10 to 12 laps, then made his move towards the lead. The only thing that cost him the lead was a little mistake coming out of 4 down the front stretch. He had to check up, got the car back underneath of him, and still wound up riding around in second for quite a while there on that first green flag run. Austin Smith is out to almost a second lead over Crowell here. Ira Kohlhaas back in 4th. Andrew Teft had a rough time early in the run. Got the car settled down later as the run went on. We'll see if that's going to be a theme for tonight. You can kind of see coming through 1 and 2 the bumps that are on the bottom as they come down the hill when they are in that high line and then go back up it on the backstretch. Dennis Kane is in 6th. He's got a couple lap cars between himself and Andrew Teft. And those lappers are going to be Alex Teft and Jarrett Larder. It's going to be new to have NASCAR here. They're going to have the Cup Series and the Xfinity Series. The Cup Series has never been to Iowa Speedway. The Xfinity Series was there for 10 years. From 09 to 19. Guys are rolling around. Burwell trying to go to the inside of Kinsley Smith. And Kohlhaas rolling in there too. This is a pretty tight battle for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Joshua Neal just checking in said his car's garbage after he came out and ran a couple laps. So he called it a night there. We are a quarter of the way through this race here at Iowa Speedway. Got 7 cars on the lead lap right now. Austin John Smith is about 2 seconds out in front of Kinsley Smith. Corey Crowell is losing time back to 3rd. Ira Kohlhaas is going to be looking to his inside momentarily to try and take this position away. as Kohlhaas does just that. Crowell had some speed early, but it looks like he might have elected to slow down a little bit, try and get that car under him and work the tires in a little bit more. Looks like Andrew Teft might be closing in here on Crowell. Well, next week, Joshua, you'll have Auto Club, and that's definitely not a short track. Then you'll wrap it up with Texas, so you'll be good to go. No more short tracks from here on out. Corey Crowell fading back some more. Ira Kohlhaas, like he had a little bit of a mistake there. Take a look, see what happened with Ira here real quick. Tef get by Crowell there. Ira looks like he's driving okay. What happened? Gets loose. Has to slow up to get the car back under him. That allows both Teft and Crowell to get by. Kohlhaas to the outside of Crowell and into the wall, and we are under caution. Alex Teft gets caught up in it as well. Ira starts to get that run on the outside. What in the world? Let's he's doing fine. Doing all right. All of a sudden it goes hard right into that outside wall. And Alex Teft lets off the gas, winds up almost sideways each direction, and just winds up hitting Ira. Don't know exactly what happened to Ira there. It looked like he was driving fine, then all of a sudden his steering wheel just decided it was going to turn to the right and take that nose right to the wall. Everybody came down to get their other set of tires and to top it off with fuel. Get these guys stacked back up here. So quick recap. Austin John Smith's been leading most of the race. Kinsley Smith came up early and made a pass and kind of worked through there. Joshua Neal caught the wall and was able to get out of the way and didn't bring out the caution. Alex Teft wound up spinning around and like he didn't bring out a caution either. First caution was brought up by Jarrett Larder and Alex Teft as Larder lost the corner, went up into the wall, tried to stop in the middle of the track and just got hit there. Then that last caution was brought out, as you saw with Ira Kohlhaas turning into the right side, the outside wall there as they get stacked up here. Lights will go out on the pace car. Yeah, I don't think it was just you, Joshua. Josh hit the wall like this 3 different times, but definitely is rough racing out there. Pace car is in. Austin John Smith waits a little bit longer this time. It's out to a pretty big lead, almost half a second already, as Crowell and Teft are battling it out for second. Crowell down to the inside, Teft on the high side. Kinsley Smith's going to try and make a move. We got a battle between 4 guys towards the front and 4 guys towards the back. Dennis Kane, Sam Kohlhaas is just out the back, and then you have Alex Teft and Ira Kohlhaas, who are lap traffic but trying to make their way towards the front to get their lap back the hard way. Alex Teft currently sitting in that lucky dog position. Austin John Smith pulling away here. Corey Crowell on the high side. Kinsley Smith down low. Kinsley going to try and make this pass so they head into turn 1. We'll see if he has the momentum to make it stick. Like Crowell had to slow up just a little bit to get the car back under him. Almost gets rear-ended by Andrew Teft, but luckily Teft was able to slow it down and not run over that 21 machine there. As these guys start to settle down here. Andrew Teft to the inside of Corey Crowell. He's going to take P3. Now we got Smith, Teft, and Crowell are the top 4. So with that being said, we're going to step aside here, pay a few bills. You won't miss anything as we go side by side, and we'll keep the action on exciting. Welcome back to the Racers Elite Next Gen series. We are under caution once again as we had some action happen while we were away. Take a look and see what happened here. Alex Teff gets loose, gets into the wall, tries to save it. And gets loose coming into one. Still loose, still drifting. Snaps back right in front of Ira Kohas. And that is definitely going to bring out a caution. Alex was doing his best to try and keep it off of the wall and out of the way. But like I said, with these next gens, you correct and then all of a sudden you're overcorrected and you're into that wall or snap in every direction. So the leaders don't pit. Austin John Smith, Kinsley Smith, and Andrew Teft. Corey Crowell comes down. Dennis Kane comes down. Sam Kohas, Alex Teft, Ira Kohas, all coming down pit lane. Like Jarrett Larder threw it on the hauler. On lap 44 for him. Joshua Neal took an early exit as well on lap 12. We are down to 8 cars for a little under 125 laps here. I was hoping Andrew was joking earlier when we were talking, but he might be onto something. We'll get set to let these guys go once again here. Six cars on the lead lap. Austin John Smith, Kinsley Smith, Andrew Teft, Corey Crowell, Dennis Kane, Sam Kohas. Alex Teft is the first car a lap down. Ira Kohas just to his outside. So let these guys turn them loose once again as Austin John Smith gets to the Geico restart zone. He is down and away, slides up in front of Kinsley Smith like he has done on every restart. Andrew Teft taking advantage, slides up in front of Kinsley Smith, gets up to a medium-high line there. See if that's going to be the better place for him to be. Kinsley Smith trying to hang on down on the low side. Side by side they go through turn 4, coming to the front straightaway. Still side by side. Smith has a run down on the low side, but the momentum seems to carry Teft towards the front here. Gets a little more speed. Looks like Teft is going to be able to maintain his advantage through 3 and 4. Still battling side by side. Kinsley Smith gets a much better run off of turn 4. Gets loose, almost slides up into Andrew, but gets the car gathered back under himself. Loses a bunch of position on track, but does not wreck and is able to keep the machine going in the same direction, staying up here in P3. Corey Crowell saw that and didn't know what to do, as Kinsley Smith was almost sideways, and as we saw how fast these cars can go from one side of the track to the other, not necessarily somewhere you want to be. Dennis Kane is inside the top 5, has a couple guys in front of him, Alex Teft and Ira Kohaas. And then Sam Kohaas running in P6 right now, up 4 spots, one of the biggest movers of the night. But back up front, it is all Austin John Smith once again here in the Racers Elite Next Gen Series. Andrew Teft and Kinsley Smith are battling back and forth once again. Smith down to the inside, going to try and carry it through turn 1. Still side by side down the backstretch. Smith gets a run coming into corner entry, but Teft seems to be able to make up for it on corner exit, but not this time, as Kinsley Smith slides up in front of Andrew Teft and will take P2. Like Andrew Teft was looking to cross Kinsley up, but decided not to, as he was losing a little bit of speed. So he'll be relegated to following Kinsley Smith around the track for a moment, see if he can pick up maybe some of that draft coming down the backstretch and make it pass coming through 3 and 4. Crowell up to 4th, Kane 5th. Still just cruising out here. Everybody kind of spread out. We work our way towards the halfway mark. Let's just do a crank it up session here. Sit back and watch the sights and sounds of the track as we turn it up for a few laps here. Yellow flag is out. Let's see what happened here. Let's jump off of Andrew Teft and see what happened to Alex. Looks like Alex has having a rough night here tonight. Dennis Kane. Let's see here. Let's jump on board Dennis Kane. Looking from his nose here. Coming down the backstretch. He's getting a pretty good run coming to the inside of Alex Teff. Notices Alex starts to slide down, lets off, and stays out of the way there. Like everybody's going to come down pit lane except for Ira and Alex. Ira's going to take the lucky dog, so I'm sure he's going to come around, hit pit lane. Well, I thought he was going to come down and hit pit lane. Our co-host comes in. They should get back out and be on the lead lap as they get ready to turn off the lights on the pace car. Working our way towards halfway here. They get them all stacked back up. Should be getting ready to go here. Pace car's going to make that left-hand turn. And Austin John Smith is going to have the button once again. Down and away, didn't waste any time as now he is out to already over a half-second lead over Andrew Teft, Kinsley Smith, as they go side by side through turn 1. Corey Crowell back there in 4th. Dennis Kane hanging on for 5th. Sam Kohaas and now Ira Kohaas on the lead lap. Kinsley Smith gets by Andrew on the low side there. But somebody's going to have to do something in order to take the win away from Austin John Smith. He has been driving lights out all night. Everybody's pretty much single filed out here trying just to survive the race. Speaking of surviving, you guys are in the YouTube chat. Who do you think's gonna survive Martinsville and make it into the championship 4? I think William Byron will make it on points. And then it all depends on if you think another driver is going to win. Tyler Reddick, Martin Truex Jr., Denny Hamlin, Chris Buescher, Ryan Blaney already locked in, or Christopher Bell and Kyle Larson. Look on track, find some of the action here. Looks like Ira Kohaas down to the inside of Dennis Kane's going to take that spot. Kohaas up to P5. Like everybody's starting to kind of spread out here once again. Sam Kohaas behind Alex Teft. Alex is still a lap down. But he is still running. And right now, regardless of what happens, the lowest he'll finish is P8. Well, that won't work, Josh. You need to either Larson and Bell are both already locked in. Willie B's 30 points above the cut line. Ryan Blaney is 10. Tyler Reddick's 10 below. Truex is 17 below. Denny Hamlin 17 below, and Chris Buescher's 43 below. Chris Buescher's only chance of making the championship 4 is a win. But I definitely think those are pretty good choices. You just have to kick either Blaney, Hamlin, or Blaney or Hamlin out. But Corey Crowell is going to try and hang on here with Ira Kohaas working the high side. Dennis Kane looks like he got a little loose, went from the bottom clear up to the top. But Ira Kohaas was a lap down a few laps ago, was able to take that lucky dog, and now he is back inside the top 5. He was running back in P7 a lap down, but was able to take that lucky dog and make it work for him here. Andrew Teft out here driving by himself. Kinsley Smith trying to close in on Austin John Smith. Kinsley Smith's the only one who's been able to... Whoa! Kinsley Smith sideways, got it back under him. And he will continue on, but it looked like just at the moment he was starting to close in on Austin. Got a little loose, went nearly sideways, got it back in, but just not able to close in. Yeah, it was amazing, the reaction of the crowd when Hamlin passed Blaney. It was also amazing the reaction of the crowd when Hamlin went into the wall when we were down there watching the race at Homestead. Martinsville? I don't know that I'd rather run Martinsville. I guess Martinsville's probably a little easier. Our Kohaus still hanging on. Burwell, Kane, Sam Kohaus. Working lap 114 of 200 here in the Racers Elite Next Gen Series. Kohaus gets loose, goes down to the bottom, keeps it rolling though. Andrew Teft is getting passed now by Corey Crowell. And Dennis Kane looks like he's going to go to the inside and try and make a pass as Andrew Teft got loose. Like Kohaus also got loose at one point around the track as well. You can see these guys slipping and sliding. Just behind Andrew Teft is Dennis Kane and Ira Kohaus. Kohaus gets the run on the high side. Kane staying mid-track, just kind of trying to find his happy places. Ira Kohaus does it again. Halfway through the corner, looked like his car just immediately went to the right. Dennis Kane slowed down on the bottom. Like he got loose coming off the corner. See what happened to Dennis here. The Ira, like all of a sudden just go left, right, and into the wall. Dennis Kane makes it another straightaway before he gets loose on corner exit. You can see the back end start sliding. Just had to slow down to get the car back under him. Go back live here. Austin John Smith out to over a 1.5 second lead. Kinsley Smith back into second. Corey Crowell, biggest mover, well, one of the biggest movers of the race, up to third. Andrew Teft looks like he found something in that number 6 Ford, and he's going to try and battle his way back. Yeah, I can definitely agree with that. After seeing you guys race here, I mean, you guys are usually pretty well on the wheel. I mean, Andrew spun out, Dennis spun out, Iris spun out, Kinsley Smith spun out. I think Austin didn't necessarily spun out, but he definitely lost a bunch of speed. I think it's going to be interesting to see what the Nextgens do when they come here, you know, next year. Especially with none of the drivers have even really raced at this track before. And there might be a couple that raced the Xfinity back in 19, but other than that, almost all of them are going to see this track for the first time. Unless they do a tire test or something here. Farwell still hanging on here. Lap 124. Yeah, I definitely think it will be fun to watch. Josh, these guys are definitely going to put in some work. I wish it was was all 3 series coming here in June, but it's not. Just going to be the Xfinity and the Nextgens. Austin John Smith is now up to almost 3.5 seconds. Inslee Smith has a 5-second buffer back to Corey Crowell. Crowell and Teft are the only ones really battling here on track for position. Everybody last pitted on lap 93. We should be able to get a few more laps here. I just see Sam Kohlhaas come off of pit lane. I'm sure there's going to be a ton of construction going on as soon as the weather warms up in the spring to add the more seating there. Yeah, Crowell and Teft are still the only ones even remotely close to each other. So with that, I'm going to step aside. We'll go side by side and we'll be back after this. All right, welcome back. As we were away, you saw Dennis Kane get a little loose. Sam Kohas as well. But they are still keeping it in the same direction. Yeah, Josh, we were, like I said, we were in Homestead over the weekend and came back home here in Wyoming, and I got 3 inches of snow this morning, and it's currently 12 degrees right now. Kinsley Smith, like, had a little hiccup there as he has lost a bunch of time to Austin John Smith, and Corey Crowell is closing in pretty quickly here. Now that gap is under a second. Eric Kohas was able to make his way around Andrew Teft. Looks like Teft had a hiccup there. Six cars on the lead lap. Alex Teft coming down pit lane. Yeah, it's a little chilly for October for me too. But it'll get way colder than that. Come the middle of December. Austin John Smith out to almost an 8.5 second lead right now. Kinsley Smith is hanging on for a second right now by the skin of his teeth. As Corey Crowell is trying to make his way up. Looks like Alex Teft had an incident on track. Let's see if we can see what happened real quick. Like, he wasn't good enough to bring out a caution, but it looked like gassed it up coming down the back stretch. It gets a little loose coming into turn number 3 there and just slides sideways all by himself into the inside wall there. Corey Crowell coming down pit lane. Kinsley Smith as well. Our Kohas stays out 12 seconds behind Austin John Smith. $55 laps to go here in the Racers Elite Next Gen Series. It's amazing. It's amazing that that there's not more cautions. I've seen guys slide all over the track, and they're able to gather the car in just enough to keep going in the right direction and not bring out the caution. Ira Kohlhaas coming down pit lane. Kinsley Smith just on his way out. Like, Austin's going to stay out a couple more laps here. From Austin's best time to his last lap time, he lost about a second and a half. We can go back and take a look at this just because we can. Fishtailing there, comes down onto the apron. back going down the backstretch. Seen that 3 or 4 times at least from multiple drivers. It's just amazing that they're able to keep it under them. Andrew Teft coming down pit lane. Now this is kind of the time where it's going to be, we'll call it interesting. Because you have these guys pitting under green. When they come back out on the tracks, they're going to want to go as fast as they can, but they still have cold tires. So sometimes you'll get that quick caution after somebody comes out on cold tires, goes to gas it up the first time, headed into turn 1, and they'll wind up sideways pretty quick. We'll see if that's going to be an issue today or not, as Austin John Smith comes down pit lane. Like Corey Crowell is going to be the race leader now for a moment. He's got a 6.5 second lead over Kinsley Smith. Ira Kohlhaas back there as well, about 8 seconds back. Andrew Teft around 17. Inside 50 laps to go. Burwell currently sitting P7 in the standings. 62 points back, so he needs every point he can get, as Austin John Smith is going to try and get back to the lead. This is a battle for lead as Austin John Smith comes out of the pits and gets right in time, right next to Corey Crowell. So here they go battling it out. And Austin John Smith back to the point. Six cars on the lead lap. 2 retirees. And 2 cars 1 or 2 laps down. And 2 drivers that didn't start the race at all. Well, Josh, at least in every race you've raced in the Next Gen series, you finished inside the top 10. Just looking at the stats there. .157 complete this time by. And Crowell has fallen 2.5 back of Austin John Smith. Alex Teft coming down pit lane. Kinsley Smith about 7 seconds back of the leader at the moment. like Alex Teff spent an extended period in pit lane. So he'll go down almost 6 lap. Let's go ahead and go through the rundown real quick with 39 or so laps to go. Austin John Smith leading the race. Corey Crowell hanging out P2. Kinsley Smith from North Carolina. Our Kohlhaas gets loose coming out of 4 once again. Woodlawn, Tennessee native. Andrew Teft from Rhode Island. Detroit, Dennis Kane is in 6th. Sam Kohlhaas in 7th. Alex Teft in 8th. And then Jarrett Larder and Joshua Neal round out that top 10. Yeah, definitely. Winter is definitely a time to get in these leagues and run some laps. We see it grow. Most of the field sizes grow over winter, and then kind of fade out if you do a summer season. I might have to see what my Saturdays are like and jump in with you guys when I'm not broadcasting. Austin John Smith looks to put Dennis Kane a lap down. We'll do that pretty easily with 44 laps to go, it looks like. Kinsley Smith is in 3rd. Ira Kohlhaas in 4th. Andrew Teft rounds out that top 5. Teft is in danger of going a lap down, as he is almost 21 seconds back of the leader here. As you can see that gap, as we're getting inside that 30 lap to go range. Well, I don't know how cool it would be. Gosh, I haven't driven in such a long time. It'll be interesting to see who can make it to the end. I think everybody can. Austin John Smith there has the freshest tires, but by about 8 laps to Corey Crowell and Kinsley Smith. Kinsley Smith is battling Ira Kohlhaas here. Ira's had some pretty good runs. He just has lost it a couple times through 3 and 4. This is the closest battle on track for position, is Ira Kohlhaas and Kinsley Smith. Alex Teff pulls down out of the way. Like he's probably going to head pit lane one more time here. Still battling here. Cam Kohlhaas in pit lane. Alex Teff in pit lane. It looks like Alex Teff called it a night. Ira Kohlhaas still trying to get by Kinsley Smith. Hasn't been able to. And just neither one of them are closing much ground. They're staying about 3/10 apart here. Austin is closing in on Andrew Teft. I mean, I do love me some King's Hawaiian, though. As you see, Andrew Teft about get loose coming off of 4 once again. "20 laps to go. And all the gaps got spread back out once again. Kohlhaas is 2.5 back from Kinsley Smith. Crowell's 7 in front of Smith, and Austin John Smith has ran away and hid. And we are under a caution as Andrew Teft lost it. Gas is up going down the backstretch. Everything looks fine. Dives it into turn 3. And that back end just starts sliding around as he does. Nice little donut there, and around he goes. Right in front of the leaders. Take a look here from Austin's point of view. So everybody else is coming down pit lane. Yeah, or Eldora's pretty fun. We'll see if we'll have some wall riding. But the trucks there, that's pretty entertaining to broadcast usually too. Andrew Teft making his way into pit lane. Looks like Alex Teft called it a night. So 3 down, 7 to go. 16 laps to go. Probably going to be down to 14. Yeah, everybody can take more chances and have a little more fun. Or take out some aggression. Even how many people wreck Austin? Austin's trying to make it 2 for 3 as far as championships go. As right now, I believe he's pretty much locked in the championship in the truck series as they're going by Winston Cup points. You'd have to have 2 awful weeks at the end of the season. And then he's trying to, he's in a close battle here with Andrew Teft for the Nextgen series. So they'll stack back up. We get the green with lucky 13 to go here. Pace car makes that left-hand turn. Austin John Smith is going to do it one more time. Hits that restart zone, and he is down and away. Crowell stays with him, though, a lot better than he has in the previous restart, as he only lost about 0.2 of a second. Ira Kohlhaas to the high side of Kinsley Smith. And we're side by side for third, not second this time, as Kohlhaas gets by Smith. They are still batting Kinsley Smith, looking to the inside. Doesn't quite have enough speed down the stretch, but found it through turns 1 and 2. Down the backstretch they go. Ira Kohlhaas back to 4th. Dennis Kane 5th. And he's looking to the inside of Andrew Teft. So all the cars that are on the lead lap are the top 5 on the track right now. Austin John Smith has over a second lead now to Corey Crowell. Kinsley Smith driving as hard as he can, trying to close this gap. Kinsley Smith goes to the high side of Crowell. See if he can hold on here. Smith, Crowell, back and forth. Austin John Smith just ran the fastest lap of the race with a 24.07. And he is driving away. Smith and Crowell side by side. Crowell goes down to the inside now. Like Kinsley Smith is going to take P2 pretty easily here. 9 laps to go. They need to get in line and try and find something together as Austin John Smith is rolling away. He was out to over 1.5 seconds out, but now this gap is slowly starting to stabilize just a little bit here. See the lap histories coming through the screen there. Got a little bit faster that time. Did Kinsley Smith. See if he's going to be able to get a little bit more or if he's going to give it back this lap. 7 laps to go, soon to be 6 as we're coming to the front stretch here. Now lost just a little bit, almost identical lap times that time. 24:23, 24:24. Not gaining any time, but not really losing any either. As Smith, Crowell, and Kohlhaas all trying to figure out where they need to be. But this is going to be the battle for the top 3. Position 1 is pretty well filled in there with Austin John Smith driving lights out once again on Thursday night. Kinsley Smith, Corey Crowell, 2nd and 3rd. Ira Kohlhaas back in 4th. 4 laps to go. Going to be a good points day for Austin John Smith here. Two laps to go. Popsicle sticks in the air. Spotter telling him, just hit your marks and you will be fine. Ira Kohlhaas was able to get by Corey Crowell as he went off track. White flag in the air for Austin John Smith. Down the backstretch one final time. Coming through 3 and 4. Austin John Smith wins at Iowa. Kinsley Smith 2nd. Ira Kohlhaas lucks into 3rd after Corey Crowell comes off track. And Dennis Kane rounds out the cars on the lead lap. Andrew Teft 1 lap down. Finishes 6th. Sam Kohlhaas 7th. Alex Teft 8th. Garrett Larder 9th. Joshua Neal in 10th. This marks the 4th win for Austin John Smith. 3 since the chase for the Cup started. He won at Richmond, he won at Phoenix, and now he has won at Iowa. So with that being said, let's see if we can talk to our drivers here. We can talk to Ira here. Hey, Ira, Mike up in the booth. How's it going, man?
Oh, man, that was a workout.
Definitely looked like it. I've got to ask, though. I saw it twice. Was there something going on with your wheel? Because you had, like, wicked overcorrection and got you up the track pretty good.
Well, I know that one, I think it was early on, whenever I hit the wall head on, is like the right rear would start stepping out and I'd roll out of the throttle and hold the wheel straight. But as soon as that thing would bite, man, it would just shoot to the right. I know I'll recalibrate it if it was something lazy on my end, but it was a handful. It was fun. If that Cup race next year at Iowa is anything like what we just went through, Larson will probably win by 10 seconds, but it'll be one hell of a show.
Yeah, I was kind of talking about that. I mean, definitely going to be interesting. I mean, first race in the Cup Series at Iowa. I mean, even the Xfinity hasn't been there since 2019, but it'd be a heck of a show. You guys put on a heck of a show tonight. I mean, other than, the way the cars kind of got loose, I mean, thought repeatedly, you're not the only one who did exactly what you said, that once that right rear started sliding out, you go to roll out of the throttle and all of a sudden shoot you back up the track.
Yeah, I think it's just part of it. Honestly, this is the first time I've ran the Nextgen at Iowa. I ran a bunch of old Cup races and Xfinity here in previous leagues and did fairly well, but this one here was a different beast. You definitely had to figure out when you could and couldn't get on and off the throttle.
Yeah, definitely. Well, you were able to come away with P3. Anybody want to thank before I get you out of here tonight?
Yeah, definitely. Got to thank Matthews Archery and Randy and Jennifer Sellers from RJS Automotive. Got to thank my wife, Callie, and my 2 daughters, Clara and Lorena. Don't know what it does to shake up the points, but definitely the fastest car won tonight. That dude was bad fast on the short runs for sure. So I hate to see that Andrew had a little bit of trouble there towards the end. We'll see what that does to the points and make it a little bit interesting going into these last couple of races.
Definitely will. Well, congrats again on your P3 finish, man, and I will talk to you later.
All right. Sounds good. Thank you, sir.
Yep. All right. That was our 3rd place driver. We can get Kinsley up here in the booth. Kinsley, man, Mike up in the booth. How's it going?
Pretty good. Pretty surprised.
Well, early on, it seemed like you had a pretty decent long run cars. You were the only driver to get by Austin there. How was it out there driving the Nextgen here at Iowa?
Really slippery. Once the tires get hot, it gets horribly loose.
Yeah, it looked like you had yourself a handful there. Looked like I probably jinxed you because I'm like, oh, look, Kinsley's making a run towards Austin. Then as soon as I said that, the back end gets loose and you start kind of sliding around. But you're able to hang on and bring home a P2.
Yeah, I was not expecting to do good at all tonight. I had a horrible race last night in Xfinity. And shorter tracks just aren't really my thing.
Well, that's the last short track for this season. You guys head to Auto Club and then you close it out at Texas. How you feeling about those last 2 races?
I'm feeling very confident about Auto Club. Texas, I haven't really ran much, but usually I'm pretty decent. Um, so I'm looking forward to it.
Definitely, man. Well, anybody want to thank before I get you out of here on your P2 finish?
Of course, you for broadcasting and Sim Racing Media, and of course Andrew Teff for putting on the league. My wife and my daughter Callie. And that's pretty much it.
Definitely, man. Well, congrats again on your P2 finish, and I will talk to you later.
Thank you, sir.
Yep. All right. We'll get over to our race winner here. Austin, welcome back up into the booth here.
How's it going, Mike? How about that show?
Well, that was a show. I got a question. How were you not sliding around so much as everybody else?
Oh, I was sliding around like crazy. I don't know if you just couldn't see it, but my goodness, my hands were full that entire race.
No, everybody was pretty much sliding around. It just looked like you were able to control it a little bit better there. But yeah, you just ran lights out once again here in the Nextgen series.
Yeah, honestly, it felt pretty good. I was really trying to modulate the throttle as much as I could. I felt like that was the key to not sliding too much. And of course, just trying to lift a little bit earlier so that you wouldn't slide into the corner, because it seemed like a lot of people were losing it on entry. So the other thing too is I feel like the clean air helped so much. Whenever I was like behind Andrew, even coming to lap him, it felt like the car just changed completely and I couldn't quite get to him. So clean air was definitely key.
Well, that would make sense, because when Kinsley was running by himself, he'd start to catch up to you, and then almost as soon as he got within, I don't know, 3/4 of a second or so, all of a sudden it looked like his car just went completely different and he couldn't find any grip. So that would definitely make sense there. But once again, you dominate tonight. Looks like the points are going to be pretty tight coming out of this race. And then you head to Auto Club in Texas. What are your feelings for the championship run here?
Yeah, it's going to be a tight battle. I was just talking to Andrew. It's kind of up in the air right now. I've got to have a couple good weeks here, and hopefully Andrew can make a couple mistakes, and hopefully the cards will play in my favor and we can grab a championship.
Yeah, it definitely looked like you probably have the truck one locked down on Tuesday. I just have to ask, because we were kind of talking about it in the YouTube chat. Are you a little nervous for the exhibition race on Tuesday?
Oh yeah. I'm not very great on dirt, so we're gonna be flying around a little bit, and I just told Corey, I was like, don't stay by me because I'm probably gonna wreck you. So it'll be an interesting event for sure, but it'll be all fun.
Definitely, man. Well, congrats on your win once again. Anybody you want to thank before we get you out of here?
Yeah, thanks to you, always broadcasting. You do such a great job. Love going back and watching, and everybody with Racers Elite who puts the league on. I've had so much fun racing. Just a great time, and thanks to my family for always letting me race, and we'll see you next week.
Definitely, man. Well, congrats once again.
Thanks.
All right, so that was the top 3 finishers. We're going to go ahead and roll through the finishing order here. Austin Smith wins the race. Kinsley Smith with a hard-fought second. Ira Kohlhaas third. Corey Crowell up to 4th. Dennis Kane 5th. Andrew Teft 6th. Sam Kohlhaas, Alex Teft in 7th and 8th. Jarrett Larder and Joshua Neal are the drivers that took part here and round out that top 10. So the championship battle gets a little bit tighter here in the Racers Elite Next Gen Series. They will pack up their stuff and head to the West Coast Auto Club Speedway before wrapping it up in Texas. But from all the drivers of the Racers Elite or Next Gen Series, and all of us here at Sim Racing Media, I want to say goodnight, and I will talk to you guys next time.